All right, folks, grab your popcorn and grab your red folder because the show continues. That's right, folks. I got right here the Notice of Appeal to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. This is the SEC officially appealing the judgment on August 7th in the XRP lawsuit. So let's get right on into this update, folks. We got to talk about this. As I titled this episode, the damages have just doubled. You want to know what I'm talking about? Take a look at the XRP price chart. XRP losing probably about 4 to 5 billion in market cap after this move. And if you recall, John Deaton, this is where he comes up with 15 billion in damages after the lawsuit was initially filed back in 2020. 15 billion in market cap wiped out of XRP right away. That's 15 billion worth of damages right there. We just lost about 5 billion overnight. There's another 5. And you add it all up. And what this is doing by extending this lawsuit out, maybe another year, maybe 2, I'm going to go through the timeline in this video. Right there, boom, we just doubled the damages. The ticket, the number, the damages done to the XRP community just doubled in this instance. And not only am I pissed off about this case, I'm pissed off that I'm even having to talk about this right now. Well, we got people in America right now that are really struggling over some serious stuff. I'm talking about North Carolina. I'm talking about the hurricane that just hit. I'm talking about other issues. I'm talking about World War III. And here we are talking about some stupid crypto lawsuit that we shouldn't even be in the middle of. But of course we are, because this is the path our government chose. Now, the feeling that I got yesterday, my initial reaction, was the same one that I got back in 2020 when the lawsuit was initially filed, which was one of, well, it had to be this way. What we hold, what this is the future financial system. This is incredibly powerful, and there's a lot of people that want to shut this down. Just like there's a lot of people that want to shut down the XRP documentary, what we're about to expose in that. And if you weren't fired up about getting this documentary out and getting the truth about ETHgate out before, well, you damn better be ready now. If you haven't figured it out by yet, we are at war. See, the red folder's not a freaking meme, guys. We are at war. A lot of people outside this country don't get that. A lot of people outside want to cheerlead and comment and spectate from outside of the United States of America. Well, you should be cheerleading on the good guys, because the good guys and gals in this country are putting up a fight against the evil, and you in your country should be putting up a fight against the evil in your country as well. These are the same entities, same agenda. They want total world domination. This is not just a little XRP lawsuit. This is about the freedom to transact with the money, the currency you please. And no, it's not a security. And the law of the land as it still stands today, despite this appeal, is it's still not a security. XRP is not a security, no matter who says that, no matter what they try to say. Do not get it twisted. But we are at war. Folks, let's get right on into it. And I want to show you guys, because although this is bad, although I am very upset about this, I'm going to show you guys later. Don't think that this means that XRP misses this bull run. Now, the damages are going to add up, because the potential that we could have reached this bull run might have just been hit. Your targets might need to be adjusted, and I just adjusted mine to my XRP exit strategy. If you want that, it's linked up down below. I've already adjusted my XRP exit strategy before we even got this appeal. I might have to be circling back on that. But once again, I'm going to show you guys later in this episode why you don't need to be worried about XRP completely missing this bull run, but why you should be upset about the damages done. Now, let's get right on into it, folks. Just like Elon Musk says right here, lawfare costs lives. And folks think that this XRP lawsuit and this red folder is a joke. No, this is costing lives. This is costing savings, retirements. The damages are absolutely freaking massive. And I am pissed off not only about this XRP lawsuit, but about this crap right here too. Had the FCC not illegally revoked the SpaceX Starlink award, it would probably have saved lives in North Carolina by getting internet to the people out there, along with all the other resources, along with Kamala showing up to do a little photo shoot. Don't get me started. Don't get me started today. I've only had half my cup of coffee. Let's just move right on in. Despite this, growth will continue. Ripple has partnered with leading Brazilian crypto exchange Mercado Bitcoin to offer businesses its managed end-to-end payment solutions. They will not stop Ripple. They will not stop XRP. The damages have doubled. Let's go. Stuart Alderati. Initial reaction from Stu. The SEC's decision to appeal is disappointing but not surprising. This just prolongs what's already a complete embarrassment for the agency. Say that again. Complete embarrassment. The court already rejected the SEC's suggestion that Ripple acted recklessly and there was no allegations of fraud, and of course there were no victims or losses, and in fact a lot of people made money, including those institutional investors that they tried to deem that as an investment contract. Well, it was an investment contract that made those investors lots of money. Instead of faithfully applying the law, this agency under this chair continues to engage in litigation warfare against the industry. We are evaluating whether to file a cross appeal. Either way, the SEC's lawsuit has been irrational and misguided from the start, and we're ready to prove that yet again in the appellate court, once again taking the lead from the industry. It's almost as if the SEC likes taking a pounding, likes getting beat down in the courts, because they're just begging for it at this point, which is exactly what we're going to do. With the illegal assassins that Ripple has acquired on their team, we're going to go put on a clinic against the SEC once again. Once again, filing an appeal, we already spent over, 150, 200 million in legal fees, Ripple did? How much did the legal fees did they just double? They probably just doubled too. All part of the damages. Is it a coincidence, though, that the SEC's enforcement director announced his resignation about an hour before this? Very interesting timing. The SEC director of enforcement did step down just 1 hour before this announcement went out. So he went out just like Hinman did. Just like Jay Clayton did. And I talked about this with Gary Gensler. I didn't suspect it would be the director of enforcement, Paul Grewal. Or no, sorry, that's the Coinbase chief legal officer. But I didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be Gary Gensler was going to file the appeal and then step down because he knows that Trump's going to fire his ass. I thought that Gary Gensler was going to jump ship before that, and maybe he still will. He might pull a Jay Clayton too. But the SEC director of enforcement, he's pulled a Jay Clayton here, filing his resignation 1 hour before this announcement goes out. Brad Garlinghouse says, if Gensler and the SEC were rational, they would have moved on from this case long ago. It certainly hasn't protected investors and instead has damaged the credibility and reputation of the SEC. And then we also should talk about the damages to XRP holders too. Somehow they still haven't gotten the message. They lost on everything that matters. Ripple, the crypto industry, and the rule of law have already prevailed, and we will yet again. We are going to absolutely smack these clowns down in court once again. While we'll fight in court for as long as we need, let's be clear, XRP status as a non-security is the law of the land today. Don't let anybody try to FUD you out of that fact. And that does not change even in the face of this misguided and infuriating appeal. Remember when the SEC tried unsuccessfully to file an interlocutory appeal? They made clear that they had no intention of challenging XRP status as a non-security. That's not what this is. They know they can't. In fact, they can't appeal on that. That is one of the things that they cannot appeal on is the status of XRP. In the secondary markets was not before the judge, so that's not something that they can appeal either. The only two things that they can appeal, there's a few things, is the two other sales that weren't investment contracts, which would have been the programmatic sales to exchanges, and then the other distribution. So the SEC can appeal on that, and then they also can appeal on the disgorgement fine and not the sanctions, but the injunction. So there was no injunction placed other than no more Section 5 violations. So they didn't get a broad, over-encompassing injunction on Ripple, so the SEC could appeal that as well. Now, Brad also comments here, says, certainly feels like there is something more behind this than what is readily apparent. The truth and the corruption always comes to light eventually. And I'll tell you, for me, this just confirms once again how big of a deal this is. What we've invested in is not just another crypto. This isn't just another investment. I think that so many people don't understand. We're called the famous cult, right? What's the XRP community? We're the famous cult. And well, I'm proud to be a part of this group. You can call it a cult. You can call it whatever the hell you want. I want to change the world with this technology, just not 10x my money on a little meme. That's not what this is about for me. This is about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness on a level playing field. Use whatever currency you so please. Set the people free. Let sound money breathe. Not just XRP. Let sound money breathe. Maybe I'll put that on a shirt. Guys, if this was a nothing burger, if Ripple didn't matter, if XRP didn't matter, if this was nothing, Brad and Chris and the team, they would have bent over, settled up with the SEC. The deal would be done. They would move out about their business, and they would just, try to dump this token on us like every other project does. Dumping on them. If the SEC does come around, settle up, don't fight, and basically shut your doors and move on to your next pump and dump. That's not this case. Ripple spent $200 million. They're about to spend probably another $100 million. But why is the SEC continuing this? Because they have to hold this thing back. They have to suppress what is going to displace the incumbents, what is going to disrupt the business model of a multi-trillion-dollar banking industry. When trillions are on the line, they're willing to go pretty far. Filing an appeal and dragging out a lawsuit, that's the least of what they'll do. They've been known to off people that try to disrupt this banking system. This is no joke. Cowboy Crypto summarizing a little review of the SEC officials who were involved in this crap show. Take heed to all the congressmen, congresswomen who haven't said a word about this appeal of government overreach and blatant corruption. Boy, oh boy, let's get it going. John Deaton is about to take out Elizabeth Warren, and we're about to go take on D.C. I tell you what, folks, I am fired up about saving this country. This is so much bigger than pump my little bag of XRP. We need to save this country. And there's a lot of folks here that are afraid to talk about this Ripple case, talk about XRP, talk about the damages done to this community. That is over with. And you know what? This is going to boomerang. This is going to backfire because this appeal only brings more attention. It only brings more attention to our story. When Brad is going around on mainstream media, CNBC, Fox Business, showcasing the growth story and how great this is, and the hosts are asking, well, why are you guys in this law? What's going on here? This sounds great, right? They're going to be the little darling of Wall Street. Well, this only just got that much better. The story just got that much better. The XRP documentary just got that much better. Now, they might have to do a second part because the lawsuit will continue. And we were hoping that the lawsuit was going to be over here in October. The XRP documentary was going to premiere next month. And it was going to be the XRP lawsuit grand finale, right? I was talking about this, right? This is it. Well, despite it being prolonged, it only makes the story that much better. It only brings that much more attention to XRP. And so that's where we're at. When you look at this, though, the SEC officials started with Jay Clayton filing the lawsuit, but then he ends up at Electric Capital, which, funny enough, Electric Capital happens to be an early investor in Bitwise that filed for the XRP ETF yesterday. Oh, yeah, and that happened too yesterday, right? It was like we got hyped up on the ETF news, and then right after that, that SEC Director of Enforcement official resigns. So we're all cheerleading. Oh my gosh, ETF, SEC's losing, disgraceful, shameful, they're all leaving. And then we get the appeal. Total buzzkill. But Jay Clayton, of course, he's getting his back end right here. Early investor in Bitwise. Of course, he's going to get his piece of that action. Bill Hinman, you guys already know the deal there. We already know that deal. Mark Berger left his active role at the SEC Enforcement Director on January 12, 2021 to head Simpson Thacher, which is Bill Hinman's law firm, just 2 weeks after Jay Clayton filed the Ripple suit. See how that works, right? They leave the public space, they go to the private space to continue the attack on the back door, making sure that they make their money, making sure that they're taken care of. Now, as of yesterday, we have SEC Enforcement Director Goober Grewal. That's why I was mistaken. Paul Grewal, Chief Legal Officer of Coinbase. My bad, Paul. It's Goober, and boy, is he a goober. What a goober. We got a new nickname for him. Goober Grewal leaving his job on the same day the SEC files notice of appeal in the Ripple case to leave to a private, undisclosed law firm. Go figure. One can only hope he was going to Perkins Coie, Sullivan's Cromwell, or Simpson Thacher. That would really be the icing on the cake. Yeah, go join your buddies. Remember what Brad said, though. When the truth eventually comes out, the shamefulness of their behavior here will shock you. And that's the part of this story that's going to resonate with people across this country. It's not just about XRP. It's not just about crypto. This is about government corruption. And if you're sick and tired like I am of this government corruption, and you're ready to see this whole thing turned over, if you're ready to go in there and flip some tables with me, well, you're in the right spot. Here's a timeline from Fred Rispoli. First off, SEC brief likely due on December 2nd. SEC likely to seek permissible 30-day extension. Of course, it's going to be back to this, guys. And, this is the best thing for us content creators because now we're going to have another year or two to talk about this lawsuit. But I'm sick of it, to be honest. I don't want to make content about this lawsuit anymore. But here we are, and thankfully I'll have something to talk about for another 2 years. And, of course, we got more extensions on the way. So by January 1st, we can expect that SEC brief on the appeal. Ripple will cross appeal. Its opening brief will be due around the same time. And they did say that they're considering that right now. And I hope that they do. If we're going to do the deal, let's do it. Let's take it all the way. Let's file that appeal and get it done. The opposition briefs will be due around, and even if they, once again, don't feel like their case is that strong, just out of pity, out of, who we're dealing with, let's exhaust more resources at the SEC. They want to play this way. Let's go. Let's file that appeal. The opposition briefs will be due around February 2nd. Ripple will likely take an extension going out till March 2nd. Reply briefs will be due by the end of March 2025. An oral argument will be scheduled for sometime September, October 2025. A ruling will be handed down from the Second Circuit in January 2026 at the earliest, likely March or April, though. So if you want to, turn off my channel, you want to turn off XRP YouTube, and you want to come back in 2026, be my guest. But I'm going to show you here in a couple tweets at why you might not want to, because XRP is still going to move. Just like it did after the lawsuit was originally filed, it's going to move after this appeal as well. So you better stay tuned in. And if you haven't already, you better make sure you subscribe and tap that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. Fred says, I would not expect a ruling from the Second Circuit until early 2026. Somebody says, hopefully Trump wins, fires Gensler, and the appeal can be withdrawn. He does add that the parties could agree to withdraw the appeal at any time. So it appears like there almost can be basically a settlement of some sort can still happen. Whether that's, they agree to, drop both cases and pay that fine of $125 million, right? Settle whatever the settlement terms were may be. It appears that there still can be something. I'm not going to hang on my hat on that. I hung my hat on a settlement for the last 4 years, and that didn't do anything for us. And before I get to the good stuff, where I show you how XRP is still going to perform well this bull run, don't get it twisted. I do want to mention, because a lot of people get this twisted and get confused. A lot of people were coming at me in the comments yesterday after the appeal. I was pretty quiet yesterday, kind of just waiting for it all to come out, get the responses from everybody before I, went live and fired up a session. And there was a lot of people I saw commenting at me, retweeting out some of my videos over the last couple of days, saying, how's this working out for you? Mocking me and all this. And for those that are curious, it's worked out really well, because I said over the last couple of weeks, I talked with my Discord group. I even mentioned it here publicly with everybody. I says, hey, I'm hedged. Despite all the hype, despite XRP momentum building, despite the XRP lawsuit grand finale term that I came up with, despite my video yesterday saying XRP hype is out of control, I'm part of that. Guilty as can be. Why? Because the fundamentals are great. The partnerships are great. There's a real reason to be hyped about this asset. But what people miss, they miss the other side, where I said I'm hedged. Why am I hedged? Because the SEC can appeal, and because World War III is going on still. Look what happened over this past week, and it doesn't bring me any joy to report that World War III is escalating. It doesn't bring me any joy to report that the SEC has appealed. But for anybody who's actually concerned about how I'm doing, we're doing just fine because I've been hedged. I've been hedged for this exact reason, and it's playing out. Here we are. Now, despite all that, for anyone in the XRP community feeling distressed by the SEC's decision to appeal the ruling, XRP bottomed just 8 days after the suit was first announced. It then went on a rally nearly 1,100% from 17 cents to $1.98 in the following 4 months. That was with no backing from any court, from Crypto Carlos. And I appreciate Crypto Carlos for reminding us of that, right? Folks think, oh, wow, we missed the last bull run. Well, is doing an 11x missing a bull run? No, a 20% move is a bull run. 11x, 1,100% is a bull run times 20, right? I mean, we did not miss the bull run. Now, once again, the damages are massive, and the potential that we would have hit last bull run probably would have been $5 to $15, which is why I say the damages are well into the hundreds of billions. My good friend Jimmy Valley says that we're in the trillions. And then that's great. We all have a reference point. We all have different reasoning. Let me know who's filing the class action lawsuit, and let's join the party, right? Because that's where we're at with that. Let's file that. At the same time, understanding, as pissed off as I get about my red folder and everything, and let's file a class action lawsuit and let's do something about this. Do not mistake and think that XRP is not going to perform this bull run. It will. Now, just think, if we do the same thing, 10x, 11x from today's price of 52 cents, which is where XRP trades at right now, we do a 10 or 11x from here, you're talking $5 to $6. Which is why I said I've adjusted my XRP exit strategy even before the appeal. I might be circling back and taking another look at it because the timeline has changed. That's the only thing that's changed in this whole XRP story, is that the timeline has changed. Have the fundamentals? Is Ripple still not getting new partnerships? No, today they just announced another partnership. They're continuing to grow and expand, more utilities on the way. And as the law stands today, we still have the competitive advantage. So 10x, 11x, maybe more, right? We didn't have everything else that we've built over the past 4 years. So maybe we do even better. You guys let me know in the comments down below how much you think XRP is going to grow this bull run. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. If you guys appreciate what we're doing in the fight that we're in, make sure you guys have subscribed and hit that notification bell. Make sure you tap it and smack it and share it out far and wide for me. And I greatly appreciate all of you guys. God bless.